Oh yeah, lovely faces. Hi. It's so nice to see you like when you use your video. I liked it. Thank you. Let's start. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Kazakhstan American Corners program. Today is our already third session. Time is going so fast, and ACK English Teacher Development Series. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're really excited to have all of you. My name is Saltanat. I'm American Corner Sultan Coordinator. And also I will be with you along with my colleague behind the scene, Lasan, who will be serving you as a moderator on the chat. Okay, let's see. You can see here is our list of all our webinars. And today we'll talk about digital vocabulary development tools for Kazakhstan's English subject program. Also, I would like to remind that session duration will be 60 minutes, and I hope you will stay with us all 60 minutes and stay tuned till the end. And also you will be active on the chat, and you always be active. Thank you for that. I think there is no need to remind you our rules. You can just read it over here, but I would like to remind you about our YouTube channel because it's like great opportunity for you to rewatch our all events. And this session also you can find in our YouTube channel, which called Kazakhstan American Corners. Thank you so much. Let's start. I would like you to hand over to the Virtual English Language Fellow, U.S. Department of State Program, Mr. August Guernsey. Hello, August. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, Sultanat. Thank you. And good evening, fellow teachers of English across the great Republic of Kazakhstan. Always a pleasure to be here. My Wednesday morning, your Wednesday evening, always such a great time. Okay, so again, we're going to continue having a great time. Those that are joining us for the first time, welcome. We appreciate you joining us here for our webinar series focusing on things for professional development for English language teaching professionals at all different levels. So let me go ahead and share my screen and we'll go ahead and get started here.
Can see your slide, August.
All right. So again, slide-wise, so today we have another wonderful session today focusing on digital vocabulary development tools. In the past, we've covered emotional intelligence and also avoiding teacher burnout. We have another session coming up next week as well, and that's going to be focusing on something that I'm actually really excited to talk about. Is about using debate in foreign language teaching. So stay tuned. That one will be coming next week. So today's topic, again, digital vocabulary development tools for Kazakhstan's English subject program. And along me, I have two wonderful English language teachers, two of them that I know quite well that will be joining, that I asked to come and be special guests here along with me. We're going to have, after I'm done speaking, Anna Stepanova, she will be joining us, and as well as after Anne, it's going to be Asiel Titnova. She will be joining us as well too, okay? So a lot of you already know about me, but those of you that may be new here, just a couple things just to point out. Again, as Sultanat mentioned, I am the current Virtual English Language Fellow for Nur Sultan, working virtually. I look forward for this. Later this year, I will be coming back to Kazakhstan. I used to live in Kazakhstan. I was in Kokshetau, working as an international English language teacher there for Nish in Kokshetau. And so that was, I look forward to getting back. Hopefully in August is when I plan to be back in Kazakhstan. So by everybody attending this session, just want to let everybody know that you do give consent then for any kind of photographic images and or audio that could be used for any possible promotions, anything that may be used potentially with the U.S. Embassy or the U.S. Department of State or American Corners Kazakhstan network as well. So in this webinar, what will we be looking at here? Well, you will collectively build an understanding of vocabulary teaching. Then we're going to get into recognizing typical effective vocabulary teaching techniques. And then we're going to go into identifying these advantages here and kind of comparing digital versus traditional types of vocabulary teaching and tools. Plus, then after that, you're going to gain a great master list of digital resources with special highlights of two specific programs, Lexopedia and WordHippo, by our two invited guest speakers. And as well as you will get some basics about Lex Tutor and how it can be a great tool, not just for yourself, but also potentially for your learners as well. Okay. So Sultanat, maybe if you can go ahead and provide the link into the chat. So this is just a little survey. Please, everyone and our participants, we have many participants here joining us here today. So if you can click on the link in the chat and go and complete the short little survey so we can get just a little bit more information about you. And it helps us to build our programming and our topics and our content for future presentations based on a little bit more about what it is that you do. Okay, so thank you, and please complete that survey. Okay, so I want to start here first by us building our understanding about vocabulary and vocab teaching collectively here. So we're going to be using the chat. So I'm going to encourage you to write your responses into the chat. I want to put the first question onto the screen, which is going to be, so what is significant about vocabulary development for learners? What can you say? So participants, please, I encourage you to write in the chat what you think is significant about vocabulary development for learners. So why? Why do this?
Let's see. Timurwan answered that builds basic confidence of learners.
Good, yeah.
Okay. Any other ideas? Just write on the chart. The question is, what is significant about vocabulary development for learners?
Why do they need vocabulary? Why do they need this?
They can express themselves easily and confidently.
Good. Yeah. Expression, absolutely.
Maintain their speaking skills to use the words in the context. That's right. So they can go into the world and talk with other people.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Very good points. These are good points. And I know that we collectively, we have a lot of experience here, a lot of experienced teachers and a lot of our own experience that we can share.
Okay. Sure. Let's see other answers. It's okay, for the development of all language skills to express our thoughts, for improving all skills, it's necessary for speaking.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's all true. That's everything is absolutely true. So we have that. So we can understand the significance of it. We get it because it's foundational for expression, for communication, for context. I mean, all of this is really important. So here's another question for you, and let's continue to kind of build our understanding collectively. The second question I would like you to put your response in the chat is going to be, so what are some ways that, because we have many different teachers here that teach at many different levels with different levels of experience and different types of learners. What are some ways that you teach vocabulary in the classroom? Maybe you can list specific activities, or you can kind of just briefly describe what it is that you do.
Yeah, maybe you have something unique, just your own way, using application Quizlet, meaning drilling form, throw definitions, synonyms. Something else? Thank you for your answer.
Anything else, guys? Let's see. Okay.
Exercises like filling gaps, games, Quizlet, through reading and listening. Some of the users answering me privately, so I also read them.
I see. Yes, I see. Definitely, there's different types of kind of activities that you're listing that you use. Okay, I see. Definitely, there's So there is a wide range of things that you can do, but but not everything is always effective. And I think we all know that as English language teachers, is that that sometimes vocabulary can be quite challenging to teach. Okay, so that way, so I'm trying to see here, we have other things, flashcards, okay, vocabulary duel. Okay, vocabulary duel, I see there. Okay, interesting. I like that one. Okay, good, good, okay. So these are all great tools and things you can do in the classroom, but now there are always some difficulties. So maybe what are some difficulties that we have when we're trying to teach vocabulary in the classroom? So think about this, think back to your previous experience, maybe even issues right now if you've been teaching online or during this this COVID era. What are some difficulties that you experience in trying to effectively teach vocabulary?
They forget words quickly in remembering.
Yes, they do. Yes, Riza. Yes, they forget words quickly. Yes, difficulties in remembering them. Absolutely. Getting them to kind of retain and also then be able to recall and use things in proper context. Definitely phrasal verbs. Always a difficult one. That's always very difficult. Okay. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. So
Sometimes there is no exact translation.
that's true. That's true. That's true. Sometimes some things it's hard to really express through that translation because sometimes it's important to have that one. Okay, good. So yeah, so these are all definitely some difficulties that we do experience in teaching vocabulary. So what I want to do is I want us to kind of go forward now and just kind of just definitely make sure that we identify some key techniques and then also identify why we should maybe potentially use more digital tools and point out and highlight some of these benefits here as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and move forward. So thank you everyone for your participation. Okay, thank you for all your responses, some real good responses. Okay. Okay, so what I want to do here now, so again, let's just identify a few just some typical effective vocab teaching techniques. I'm sure that maybe you guys are aware of some of these, but I just want to kind of lay some foundation here so that way we can kind of, again, collectively understand here a little bit more about, what it is that we were doing before as we transition to seeing how we can actually use digital tools to make things even more effective, okay, or try something different. So first, obviously, multiple exposures. I think we all can agree with this kind of technique is that for effective vocab teaching, we need multiple texts and they need to be very different types of contexts as well. And also being over time. Okay, again, trying to get them, again, we mentioned about issues with remembering things, being able to recall things. So this is important. Another thing would be the neo-linguistic type of representations. Don't forget about this. Now, okay, maybe this is difficult through online teaching. Okay, we try our best, but face-to-face, okay, again, students we try to create mental images for them, pictographs, pantomimes, other hand gestures, things like that, that nonverbal type of things as well. The role of a dictionary, okay, not just having it, but actually like really like students making their own personalized type of definitions in their own words, things that are student friendly, using learner dictionaries as well. Potentially other techniques, front load or pre-teach. I think maybe some of us do this for certain types of maybe texts, or if you know that you're coming into potentially that what could be a challenging unit, and you need to make sure that they have some vocabulary up front before you actually get into maybe whether they're listening to things, whether they're reading things, they're watching things. So again, maybe you front load it or pre-teach to increase comprehension. Other things, maybe context clues as well. That's one of my favorites. Okay, now maybe there could be some other kind of independent word strategies that you use, like getting them to use like word families, word parts. These are all still also effective techniques. Rich and authentic language experience. Okay, making sure that we're engaging them across all four skills, with this authentic language so they're able to use and experience with each other, their peers as well, with this specific vocabulary and word usage. And of course, one of the most important things I think we all would agree about is because the importance of reading. Okay, so independent reading, and not just like telling them to read, but actually giving them more time to read and allowing students to actually even talk about reading so they can actually use the words themselves that they just came across from reading. Okay, so again, so these are kind of 7 kind of typical effective vocab teaching techniques, and I'm sure that we've done these in class and even online. Okay, so now what about digital tools? If we brought in digital tools, knowing those effective strategies, how does this make things better? How does it make it more effective in trying to teach vocabulary? Now, obviously, let's be honest, the COVID era has pushed us into this, experimental phase, over this past year, this academic year, starting all the way back from springtime of last academic year, now going forward though, we need to make sure that as we're back into or going into, some of us are already into back to face-to-face teaching, or maybe even blended learning. Okay, so maybe potentially, we're mixing things. I know some schools, some grades, some groups are in person, some are online. There's a mixture for some. Let's not abandon this progress that we've made digitally about things. Okay, so that ways we need to make sure that whatever kind of digital tools that we're using online, we bring those and keep them as we go back into the classrooms. Okay, and I'm going to be pointing out some tools that you can use, whether it's online or in person, because these are going to be great tools, whether it's in class or even at home for students to be able to use, because some of these can be things that they can use at home, like from a digital device. So what are some of these advantages, just to point out? And there's many of them. Of course, one of the obvious things would be a broader array of information about words and word meanings. Okay, there's just much more information available to learners using a digital tool versus something that's printed in person. Okay, now also one of the greatest things, and this just kind of helps us out do our job better, it makes things easier, gives us much more flexibility, and allows us to be even more creative in being able to deliver this. It allows us to easily customize words and activities and exercises to fit target vocabulary or content as well. The use of multimedia is obviously a huge plus, and from my co-speakers that are going to be demonstrating a couple of programs for you, you're going to be able to see how video, audio, multimedia is incorporated to make it a much more engaging experience for learners. Of course, the behavior can change for learners with using digital tools. Their attitude can improve. That a lot of times there's a lot of positive engagement through all this stimulation of these digital tools. For instance, gamification. There's a lot of things that they can do to make it much more fun with vocabulary through these digital tools. And also something that I'm going to focus on here kind of over the next few minutes is a specific program that would help you to analyze, word choice, word level, academic language, and just kind of how sophisticated do I sound with my vocabulary that I've chosen, okay? So these are all important kind of advantages of digital tools. And I think a lot of them, we can really kind of, it's obvious and we can see these advantages, okay? So now that we've built our understanding collectively, and we understand, typical type of effective strategies for teaching vocab, and we've seen what are some of the benefits now of using digital tools. So what are these digital tools that I'm talking about? So I will be providing everyone, all of our participants, some links to all of the tools that are mentioned here in this webinar. Okay, so you don't have to worry about screenshots or trying to write things down. I'm going to be providing a master list of 24 best digital tools for you to build vocabulary. And I know for certain 100% that you will find one tool in this list, probably more, but you're going to find at least one tool in this list that you're really going to like. And it's going to be probably something that you may have never heard of before. And that's going to be the wonderful thing about this exploration into these digital tools. Now, I've kind of broken things into some different areas. Okay, reference tools, things for word clouds, things that can be used for games or reviews, or potentially things for word walls or other kind of just virtual exploration. Okay, so how about the reference tools? Here's a dozen different tools that are some of the best right now. And some of these are kind of still unknown a little bit, okay? But you can see here, collocation dictionary, Lexipedia, snappy words, VisiWords, WordHippo, wordnik.com, your dictionary, math words, a math dictionary for kids, vocabulary.com, and Goosh Vocab. Some of these are absolutely fantastic. We're going to have some demos of two of the best, okay, Lexipedia and WordHippo from my co-speakers. So you're going to get actually a little bit of a live look to see exactly how you can practically apply this to Kazakhstan's English subject program and potentially to maybe a topic that you actually teach yourself. Here's some of the other kind of categories and areas of use and more of the resources. Okay, so you can see the word clouds. Wordle is a fantastic one. We all kind of know Quizlet. I think that's one of the most well-known ones out there that's being used. But Noji is one that's maybe not so well-known, but it's a fantastic tool for building word clouds. When it comes to games and review, Vocabulary Spelling City, another real fantastic one. Vocab Genius. Free Rice is one of the most addictive games you can possibly do. I encourage everyone to really try Free Rice because it's a real nice tool, not just because you can practice vocabulary, your learners can use it, and I know they'll get hooked on it and they'll enjoy it, but also Free Rice, it's actually created by the United Nations, and actually there's a good cause behind it. For those that use it, they play the game through Free Rice, and if you get correct vocabulary for every correct answer, you're able to actually, the United Nations will donate rice to people in need around the world. So your learners, so if this is something you're focusing on, maybe some kind of socioeconomic kind of thing that you want to focus with your learners, maybe goodwill, other type of humanitarian type of things, I would encourage you to check out Free Rice because not only can they practice vocabulary and it's fun, but it's also for a good cause. And please check that out. I believe like over 200 billion grains of rice have been donated through Free Rice. So it's a great opportunity. And word walls, you know, Padlet. I just want to highlight ThingLink. It's a great program. ThingLink is a great program. It's something I think everybody can really use. So here's some tools. Again, 24 different tools that are great. Now, I just kind of want to, over just the next few minutes, point out one specific tool before I pass it over to my two guest co-speakers who are going to go into details more about Lexipedia and also WordHippo. Now, something that is really important when it comes to vocabulary, it's not so much about teaching, but it's about questions that you may be asked, questions you may get from your learners, excuse me. So when it comes to analyzing Lexis, I know that it's not so easy, right? And especially as non-native English speakers, you know, maybe potentially certain questions you get from your learners, maybe you're a little bit kind of stumped and you're not sure what to do or what to say. For instance, you know, your learners, they're going to have certain obstacles, you know, in regards to kind of their vocabulary development. And one of the main questions I would always get while teaching in Kazakhstan, a lot of students would come up to me and say, so I want to sound more sophisticated. How do I sound more sophisticated? What do you think about this word? What do you think about the words that I used? So how do you really answer that question? You know, how do you determine sophistication and word usage? Now, let's say, I mean, for me as a native speaker, okay, maybe I'm kind of just subjective. I give it the eye test. I look at what they've written and I can kind of just maybe just subjectively say, okay, I see these kind of words are kind of good to use. Okay, but again, how are you more like confident, more sure? How do you know for certain about sophistication and the level of it, of the word choice, the lexis that they've used? And also think about this on the flip side. What about for your own self? Okay, in my work I've done, collaborating with many fantastic English language professionals across the Great Republic of Kazakhstan, I know that, you know, maybe academic writing can still be kind of an area of weakness because maybe a lot of us don't get a lot of practice in it. So for our own selves, when we are asked from our administration to write something and we're like, oh, I want to sound sophisticated, you know, I want to use academic words, you know, how do I sound? So it's not just for your learners, but for your own self. I want to show you this program that can help give you much more confidence and certainty into the level of your Lexis usage, okay, your vocabulary that you're going to be using, okay? So just quickly look at this here. It probably looks something crazy to you. You just see a bunch of words on the screen. It's like some different colors. You can clearly see that. Maybe you're thinking there's some kind of a pattern. You know, there's got to be some kind of rhyme and reason to all of this, right? It's not just a crazy list of words that just an infinite list that goes on forever. You know, what is this that I'm showing you right now, okay? So that was a screenshot from Lex Tutor. Maybe you've heard of Lex Tutor before. It's been around for a while now. It's not a new program, but it is one of the greatest, most powerful tools out there that still a lot of people are not aware of that it's out there. And I just want to bring some awareness to it. I'm not going to teach you how to use it. I could spend a week's worth of webinars teaching you all the many things and features of Lex Tutor, but I want to point out just one specific feature that you could use immediately, I think, going forward from today that can help you to feel more confident about vocabulary usage and sophistication, okay? I have a link on the screen and there's a helpful article as well that can kind of help guide you in your exploration of Lex Tutor. Again, I'll send out those links to everybody as well. The main thing we're going to focus on is what's called the vocabulary profiler. If I had more time, I would like to show you, because it's also in concordancer, okay, but we're not going to have time to cover that. But a vocabulary profiler just helps you to determine word levels and classification. But Lex Tutor also offers other things like games like clickers and flashcards and close and other word games for practice or assessment. There's a lot of things you can do with Lex Tutor. Okay, just to give you a quick little demo over maybe just a couple minutes here. So I have two sample texts on the screen. One's a science text on osmosis. Another one's a children's story, okay? So we're gonna just use these in Lex Tutor, and I got a couple screenshots to show you what you would see. So first, let's take that science text. So when you pull up Lex Tutor, you see this screen right here. There's a lot of kind of things all over it. It's cluttered with a lot of words. I know it's not the most kind of visual friendly type of site, but man, it is a great, powerful tool. Believe me, looks can be deceiving. Don't judge a book by its cover. Isn't that what they say? I got two arrows pointing to what you need to know. The red arrow points to the text box. What you do is you copy the text, for instance, that science text, you copy it, you paste it into this box where the red arrow is pointing, and where the blue arrow is pointing down here, you just click that submit window button and it's going to do its thing. It's all that you need to really focus on going forward to use this immediately. So what will you see when you do this? Here's the science text, just to kind of point something out. So maybe this was for English for a specific purpose. This science text on osmosis. What do you notice? If you take a look, the blue arrow is pointing to, you remember seeing kind of that list of words with different colors, kind of identifying maybe some categories. What are those categories? The red arrow is pointing to it. You see these numbers here, it's percentages. So the red arrow is pointing to percentages. Percentages of what? You see 4 colors, quite simple, okay? The blue represents the first 1,000 words. We don't have a lot of time to really teach you a lot about like what this really is behind it, but just to give you the gist, what you really need to know is that, think of this, the first 1,000 words is the most like frequently used words. Okay, so think of this kind of like maybe some lower level vocabulary, still important, but not so sophisticated. Let's just label it like that. The green is the second 1,000 words, a little bit less frequently used, so maybe a little bit more, you know, kind of maybe they sound a little bit more sophisticated, a little bit more higher level of vocabulary and Lexis usage. Yellow is our favorite, right? Academic words. Okay, this program uses an academic word list, about 500 words or so, I think. So the yellow highlights academic words. AWL stands for academic word lists. Red, off the list, what that means basically is technical language. Okay, maybe abstract terms or technical language. For instance, this is a science text. So a lot of technical stuff is going to be science type of things. Okay, so what can you see here is that 52% is first 1,000. There's 6% academic words. There's 40% technical language. What does that mean? Is that This is very kind of sophisticated language. It has a lot of academic words and it's extremely technical. Would this be good for like younger learners? Absolutely not. If you're trying to understand how technical your language is, you should be up in this 30–40% range. You can see if half of your text is read. Okay, so if business English, medical English, legal English, aviation English, even for our field, if it's about linguistics, you'll probably have a lot of technical language. So if you're writing a paper and you're wondering how technical you sound, do you have a lot of red words? Okay, so this is just something to point out. And just on the flip side, just to kind of just briefly show you, children's story, complete opposite. Is this appropriate for young learners? It should be mostly blue. Is this mostly blue? It's 84% blue, only 11% green. That would be appropriate. Would this be appropriate for maybe for high school students, you know, in higher levels? Would this be appropriate for students learning maybe like at a university? No, it should be more green with more yellow. Okay, so again, so you can get confidence knowing if you're wondering, is this text that I have chosen appropriate for my learners? Run it through Lex Tutor, see what the percentages show you. You can determine a little bit more accurately if something, how sophisticated it is, how appropriate it is for your learners, okay? Again, I wish I had more time to kind of share you more. I just wanted to highlight that really powerful tool to help give you more confidence and maybe determining how sophisticated something sounds or how technical something sounds, or is this appropriate language for my level of learners? Okay, what's the percentage of first 1,000 or second 1,000? Okay, all right, so that's all I wanted to kind of show for you. I want to kind of quickly go ahead and pass it over to my guest speakers, but just to kind of give a little context about my guest speakers, which I've worked with before. Our two guest speakers, Anne and Asiel, they were my students from this previous term. They are two of the most amazing up and coming English language teachers. I definitely really stand behind them. They are going to be a fantastic asset to any school going forward. They will be graduating soon. We had this wonderful encounter there while I was working in the Foreign Languages Theory and Practice Department at Eurasian National University. And they were in our Innovative Methods in Foreign Language Teaching course. I also taught graduate students as well. We had probably about 80 total students doing this multimedia tech course. I have some screenshots of some of the wonderful presentations and work that we did in this course of these vocabulary tools. But I'm going to go ahead and pass it on over now to my co-speaker, Anne Stepanova, and she's going to go ahead and take over here and present on her specific vocabulary tool. Okay, so Anne, it's going to be all yours.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Hello, my name is Anne, and can you give me a second, please? And I will demonstrate my screen. Please, 1 second. I hope everything is, oh my God, I hope everything is going to be good. Okay, hello, everyone. Hello, dear guests, dear teachers and students. My name is Anna, and I'm a student and a fourth year student of the Eurasian National University at the Department of Theory and Practice of Foreign Languages. Also, I'm an English teacher at U Study English School, and also I worked at a lot of forums, but it is not the topic, yeah? Also, if you have some questions after my presentation, here are my contacts, and you're free to contact me and to chat me. I'm all yours, and I will answer all your questions. Okay, I'm gonna talk about Lexipedia. So actually, here is the chat, and I hope that you can write on it. If you have some ideas about what is Lexipedia and what I'm gonna talking about, maybe you have some ideas, guys.
Okay. So guys, so let's go ahead and we can put into the chat. So Anne, so specifically, what were we asking here again? So we want the participants to
know what do they know about Lexipedia or
okay.
not?
Okay. So what do you guys know? Do you know anything about Lexipedia? Okay, so we have, so some of our participants here are mentioning that they haven't heard of it. that it's something like Wikipedia, maybe in the nature of the word. Okay, Lexpedia, maybe similar to Wikipedia. Okay, could be online vocabulary learning. Okay, again, others are
Actually.
thinking you haven't heard of it. Being able to categorize words into word families. Okay, good, maybe. Okay,
Okay.
yeah. So let's find out then here about it, Anne.
Yeah, okay, thank you guys. Thank you for your answers. I hope that you're gonna know about Lexipedia more after my presentation. Okay, guys, Lexipedia is an online visual semantic network with the dictionary and thesaurus references functionality built on the language learning multilingual concept.net. So it is an online visual dictionary. Yeah, it was created in 2007. Here you can see this the screenshot of the Lexipedia, and now I'm going to briefly tell you about what is the main idea, what is the main purpose of this program. Yeah. Okay. Here are some facts. Yes, about Lexipedia. Firstly, it presents words with their semantic relationships. Also, it is displayed in an animated visual world web. It is very animated, it moves all the time, and also it contains a lot of versions. It supports 6 languages: English, Dutch, French, German, Italian, and Spanish. So for example, if your second language is German, you can use it also in German language, not only in English. Yeah. Also, Lexipedia is a place that that it helps students and also teachers relate the verbs and also create a deeper and more meaningful meaning. Yeah. Okay. Okay, next, please. Mhm. The main purpose of this application was to to improve the students' achievement, also by building the knowledge and also building the great level of vocabulary, not only for students, yes, and also for teachers too. And also it is like a system for it's can improve the standards and also assessment and also the leadership. You can see here here the screenshots of the Lexipedia. So how it works, when you type a word, instead of given the simple definition, you are given a variety of the words that can be related to the words that you typed. For example, my word is politics, and I typed only one word, politics. Here you can see a lot of words that can be related with the word politics: political science, political relationships, government, and so on. And also here is the word discourse, here is more than one word. Yeah, here the word discourse, here you can see a lot of words like dialogue, advice, consider, and so on. Here are a great amount of words. And the structure is not includes only nouns, for example, that can be related to this word, but only verbs, adjectives, synonyms, antonyms, and so on. Also, in my opinion, it is very easy to use. When you first time type lexipedia.com in your Google or Yandex, or I don't know what you use, you can just know everything about this program firstly, but also it is very easy to use. It can be appropriate for all levels of English of students. And also I think that it can be also used in smartphones and laptops and so on. Also, guys, it is all about making the connections between the words, and also, in my opinion, it helps people truly understand the words meaning. Yeah, here you can see that here we have the word back. Yes, here not only the nouns, yes, but also the verbs, the adjectives, and so on. And like it is the resource to stretch and also to build the students' vocabulary and um, but and also here are a lot of synonyms, yes, of this verbs, words, and nouns, and so on. Okay, and also I know that you can ask me, and what is the main benefit? Why should we use this? Why should we use this application? I think that the main idea is to to explore the related words and also the meanings and expand the vocabulary. Without the vocabulary, we can speak English properly, and we can use it in our not only um, not only everyday English, but also for science English. And it's um, it's a force. I think that it's a force the visual and also the web's design. Like, yes, you see that there are a lot of words with their very, very beautiful design that can be very interesting for students too. Not only for elder, yeah, students, but also for younger too. And it is all very, very colorful. It would be that would be more appealing to children too. That, yeah, not for only elder students. And in my opinion, also it's perfect site to use during the literacy lesson. Also, it is the excellent resource for children and for students to stretch and also to build the vocabulary. I think that all students and teachers can use this website like an interactive whiteboard. And also it is an appropriate tool for to use during our online distance learning. Yeah, it is very useful. You can just demonstrate the screen, and then you will have the very, very beautiful application, and you can use it during your lesson. Also, in how I used this application, um, we had an exercise with my students of writing, and during writing, students can use Lexipedia as an editing center, where they can enhance their writing. Also, there are vivid verbs, adjectives, and that's it creates more beautiful language. Yeah, not only dry words that children know everyone, yes, this word, it can be very interesting for them to use, and also to know all the meanings, to read from the site, yes, not only from the book. And Lexipedia also, in my opinion, can be used as a great tool, yes, vocabulary source for writing, of course, as I said, yeah, all types of essays. We had an exercise from my in my opinion, we had an exercise of writing about political news, because my senior thesis of for fourth grade course, yeah, is about political discourse, as I've told earlier. And we had an example of writing an essay, and children use this, and they liked it very much, because there are a lot of beautiful words that they can use, not only in writing essays, but also in their fluent language. And also, additionally, I want to say that when learning the second language, yeah, Lexipedia could facilitate learning the new words and also phrases. And also, I think that Kazakhstani teachers can use Lexipedia as a teaching tool, as a teaching aid for students. For example, when they pre-write exercises, edit, revise, work on a context vocabulary, and also to learn something new, to work in pairs, to work with their speech, to work with their writing, and so on. Yeah. And of course, the colorful interface. Yes, I can talk about it a lot of all the time, yeah, about how beautiful and how colorful it is. And it can be very interesting for students, not only to read, yes, this dry words, sentences, but also to, like, not only to work, yes, to play with this design, with this all moving words, and so on. Okay, also, here is the Merriam-Webster versus the Lexipedia, but I think that I have no time actually. Okay, it is not the main idea, yes, what I've talked about, but the main idea is, of course, benefits for you guys and for our teachers. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for your attention. If you have questions, of course, again, I have an email and WhatsApp, and you can chat and you can contact me, and I will give you all my answers to you guys. Thank you so much. That was a great pleasure for me. I hope you understand everything and you liked my presentation. Thank you so much, Mr. August and American Corner. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. So, and I saw there were some questions in it. We'll try to, I'm thinking that potentially we will have a follow-up document as well that can maybe address certain questions, maybe show more screenshots, something else to kind of just offer some more support for our participants. So we'll try to provide you as much more support with this. A lot of it's going to be on you guys to explore yourselves. But I'll try to provide a little bit more support for some of these programs to you guys. Okay, so Asiel, so it's going to be Asiel will be our next invited guest speaker here. So Asiel, it's a pleasure. It's all yours.
Okay, let me do screen sharing. Okay. All right, so hello, dear teachers, dear students. Thank you for letting me have a word. My name is Tatiana Vasiel, and I am the fourth year student of Eurasian National University. So I also have been organizing several forums, international forums, where students, our Kyrgyzstani students, can practice their English skills, their speaking skills, and also being involved in communication with some foreigners and have fun. So let me move on. I'm going to talk about WordHippo, this amazing vocabulary tool. Let's start from the definition. So it's actually an online website and also an application that provides a set of different useful tools related to the usage of different words for recreational goals and some creative stuff, such as writing, poetry, translations, word games, and so on. So let's have a look on this beautiful main page. It's actually the main benefit of this is it provides us the beautiful picture that attracts students' attention, which is the benefit of visibility of this tool. Let's start from the first section called synonyms. It's actually the main benefit of synonyms. We can all agree that it improves students' lexis, and we can say, let's have a look at our example on the word culture. So actually, the word culture is relatable to the topic of traveling or awareness of our heritage and ethnicity. And And this is one of the topics of the program of 9th grade students in Kazakhstan. And I think it's very beneficial for them to be aware of this. So according to this example, we can see that WordHippo provides us the great tool Synonyms to have a look at I don't know, to enhance their lexis, their vocabulary. So just let's see how many words that have different like variants of words that have the same meaning. So concerning antonyms. Actually, antonyms has a similar benefits as well as synonyms. It enhances and improves our lexis. When our students can know how to negotiate, how to use different collocations or different words. So the next one is, the next tool is called definition. It's actually about the meanings of the words. And what can I say, that definition part provides us a vast majority of different definitions, and we have only one small word, and so many variants of definitions. The student can choose one, the most appropriate one. Concerning rhyme section is actually my favorite one because I'm fond of poetry, and I think this is super beneficial for those students who involved in poetry or who is going to be a poet in the future. So we can see how many possible rhymes students can use to their words. Sentences section. Sentences tool actually is about the context, while students don't know in which context they can use the words. So this tool helps us to identify in which context they can use it. For instance, we can see on the first example, there is still embedded in Irish culture. So we can see Irish culture collocation. And then we also can see the sixth example, pop culture. So it means that students can see the difference in using one word in two different situations, in two different contexts. All right, so find word section. Find word section actually helps students to improve, to add some new words to their vocabulary, just to provide, it provides the opportunity to improve their lexis as well. About word forms. So what can I say about this is, I think the advantage is that it helps students to know the grammar, to be aware of some new collocations or of some words that they didn't know before. And it contains not only adjectives, but also different word forms such as pronouns, adverbs, nouns, verbs, and etc. Pronunciation part. So pronunciation is plays very important role while we're talking about speaking, which is the most important skills of most important parts of learning English language. So students can easily just type the word and they can be provided by WordHippo the transcription, and they can know how to pronounce it well. So, concerning our benefits, WordHippo actually has a full set of tools that is very convenient to use in only one service. And also, WordHippo has an application in both platforms, such as Play Market and App Store, which is super beneficial for those types of students who don't use computer or notebook or laptop. So just to have a quick access to the tool. And the main benefit is that our tool called WordHippo is super beneficial for Pakistani learners. I'm not going to lie that our students only aware of few most popular mainstream websites for enriching their vocabulary. But even if this tool is less known, it is still has more options that suit students' needs in improving their vocabulary. So that's all. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, I'm glad to ask.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Asiel. We appreciate your presentation. That was a WordHippo. Okay, so previously with Anne was for Lexopedia, and then Asiel just got through showing us WordHippo. So again, these are reference tools. Okay, remember there was a few different areas of use. I did provide you, there were some names for some tools that would be maybe better for like games or for review or for building other kind of maybe support type of graphics like word clouds and things like that. So again, so depending on how you want to use it, there's probably tools that may be more suitable for that kind of application within your lesson or for that unit. But I just want to say that I'm really proud of both of my two students. I'm really happy that they could join me. So it's not easy, I think, to be a undergraduate student and to present to many educators across the country. So I'm really so proud of my students. So again, thank you, Anne and Asiel, for your presentations. So we're kind of short on time. So I knew we're going to try to put as much information as possible into this. And unfortunately, since we only had about a 1 hour webinar, it kind of limited us with what we can do. I know there were some asking about online demos. So again, maybe we'll try to get out some more screenshots of it being used, just anything that could provide maybe some more support for those that want to experiment. Again, we'll send out a document with links to all of these tools. So Lex Tutor, the other 24 tools that I mentioned. So you're going to get at least 25 different tools that you can use going forward. Okay, so you have a lot of different tools that you can use. Also, there's going to be a little survey that's going to be put into the chat just for some feedback as well. Sultanashi will provide and put the link into the chat for all of us. Just a little 3, 2, 1 exit ticket. And there you guys, please, put some of your questions into that feedback. Okay, so that way I can have those questions and I can use those to help kind of follow up to everybody collectively as a whole here. Okay, so that'd be important. So please complete the feedback in that survey. And the last part is providing like some questions in there. Okay, so that'd be great. So other than that, I know we're out of time, but again, thank you really everyone for joining us here. I hope that you picked up some kind of, the main thing is that we've been doing things online for a while and we're transitioning back into face-to-face, back into offline now. But again, let's continue to use these digital tools. Let's bring them into our previous type of teaching practices that we were so used to and so comfortable for so many years. Let's continue to integrate and be innovative and bring much more multimedia technology into our classrooms to make it more engaging and to make it much more active learning for our learners in a very key area, which is acquiring new lexes, building their lexes, improving their vocabulary and their usage of vocabulary. Okay, so Sultanat, did you have anything else that you wanted to add?
Yeah, thank you so much, August. Thank you, dear speakers, Asiel, Anya. I guess that's all for today. It's already a time. I hope to see you next week. Please don't forget to register. Don't forget about our registration. As usually, it will be on our Instagram page. I will make a quickly reminder about our Instagram page because I think it's important. Here, our page. and you will find it right here, top link. It's one of the most important links, don't forget about it. All of the events right here. So you'll find the registration link for the fourth webinar on our top link in Instagram, American Corner NS. Thank you, have a good evening, and bye.
Good night, everyone.